Hello and welcome to Back to the Future with Evan and Gabby. Double features, double takes. This is the podcast where we talk about two movies, one new, one old, what makes them a good pair, and how the history of films influences the present. I'm Evan.
And I'm Gabby.
And today we are discussing Wuthering Heights and
William Shakespeare's
Romeo
plus
Juliet. Two films that expose new generations to the art of yearning for better and for worse. I'm so excited to get into what that means to you, Gabby.
Oh, yeah. I've never been more ready to yearn in my life.
This is a big moment for the podcast. I think this is one of the defining movies that we had talked about when we kind of started this show, when we were on mic and talking about things that we were either we were looking forward to, whether or not that was a good or bad thing, who's to say? But Emerald Fennell's Wuthering Heights is out. Very excited.
It is open. It is out to the public. You can see it right now in theaters, as most, TikTok girlies have already done. And we hope that they're all watching right now.
Yeah. And before we get into the review, let's talk about some other stuff that we've been watching, other things that you've been, out and about seeing. I recently watched Nirvana, the band, the show, the movie. That was a
that's
great,
on my list.
Yeah, a really fun comedy film. If you're looking for something extremely unexpected, and you're like, why don't they make comedies anymore? This is truly like one of a kind type of thing. I was not very familiar with the show. I don't know if you've seen it.
No, I didn't actually know it was a show until I think I heard on a podcast that it was a show also, and that this was kind of a continuation, but also that it's one of those where you don't need to see the show to understand it.
Yeah.
So it's been getting great reviews. People like you have told me that it's great, and it's definitely on my list because I love to laugh at intentional comedy.
Yeah. It's I had not watched a single episode of the show before watching the movie. I didn't know anything about it, so don't let that stop you from checking it out because it's really, really fun. There's if you haven't seen the trailer for it, there's a great line in the trailer that says, "If you're watching this in theaters, consider yourself lucky." There's a lot of reasons this movie probably shouldn't be in theaters for different legal
Oh,
reasons. So,
lovely.
you should definitely check it out if you've got, a spare hour or two and you're like, I haven't been to the movies in a while, or you're like, what should I go see? Definitely, for me, highly recommend.
Okay. Good recommendation. I have two queer recommendations for you, Evan.
Mm-hmm.
I finally got around to watching Hedda, the Nia
Oh, yeah, that's
DaCosta
right.
adaptation of Hedda Gabler. It's on Prime right now. Kind of just like underseen, like went under the radar. Last fall. It was in theaters for like 2 days. I know this because I tried to take my partner to see it, and it was already out of theaters by the time I looked at a date. I was like, oh damn. But we did watch it, and we were not familiar with the source material like at all. I think originally it's a play, and it's not originally a queer text, but I appreciated the little twist on it here, and I thought that Tessa Thompson was incredible as usual, as a very unlikable character, and is just really having a lot of fun. And Nina Haas also having a ton of fun in this movie, just letting it all hang out. Also, speaking of hanging out, I saw Pillion today, which I really enjoyed, and was not expecting to be so tender. Like it's a very tender movie at its heart. Like it was just kind of described to me as Alexander Skarsgård and the chubby cousin from Harry Potter having a BDSM like biker romance, and I was like, oh, okay, that sounds fun. But I was expecting it to be like a hardcore BDSM situation, and there are moments of that, but it does kind of explore being in a relationship with a dominant and a submissive, and the dynamics there, but it has like a really sweet center, really
Mm.
soft heart.
Yeah, this is a movie I think that kind of, did a festival run last year, right? And I think people were maybe surprised that it wasn't quite in the running for things this year cuz it came out in December.
I think it came out in December other places. I think
Oh, yeah,
here,
okay.
I think it came out in the States like just last week.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah, it came out in November 28th in the UK. I see. Okay.
yeah. I would have liked to see it be in the conversation. I know it did some festivals. But I really just appreciate Alexander Skarsgård being in, not like, he's top billed in this, but not, like huge budgeted, like uh marquee kind of movies. Like he's just taking chances and doing what he wants to do. And that includes working with, lesser known directors and kind of smaller films, and I love to see that. Also, he has a really unfortunately good body. Like really, like I was just like, why does anyone look like that? Like that's so annoying.
Yeah, yeah. Check out those movies. Let us know if you have a chance to see those. Leave a comment on YouTube or on Spotify and the podcast services. But let's talk about Wuthering Heights. Gabby, how did you watch Emerald Fennell's Wuthering Heights?
Um, Funny story. I don't even think I've told you this yet. But I saw it last Thursday or last Friday, like opening night,
Hmm.
at our good old AMC 16 in IMAX, packed theater. Accidentally ran into my friend Ash and her partner, like
Hmm.
also on a date night. But when we got there, there was like heavy, heavy security, like
Oh.
really intense security presence. Like I'm talking bulletproof vests security. And when we walked in, there happened to be like a guy with a backpack trying to get in, and the security was like looking for the bag. And so I thought, oh shit, was there a bomb threat called into the AMC 16 tonight?
Hmm.
Um, but they didn't stop us or anything, and we went inside, we were seated, um, and we were seated kind of towards the front because that's the only place with two tickets left. Pretty overwhelming in that IMAX screen. So I was really feeling all of the moisture, from this movie
Gross.
hitting me. But
Gross.
I, yeah, we sat through the whole movie, and I was like, kept looking at the exits because I was aware that like one of the security guards was right outside of our theater entrance, like specifically Theater One IMAX.
Uh-huh.
And after the movie, Ariel said to me, I bet you somebody really famous is in there. And I said, no. But if it was like somebody from the movie, they would have introduced the movie, like they would have said
Sure, yeah.
something. Like if Emerald Fennell was there, she would have been like, hi, welcome. Like she wouldn't have just been
Yeah.
sitting there. But she was right. There was somebody very important sitting 2 rows in front of me, Evan, just having a date night, watching Wuthering Heights opening night. And I will give you two guesses who this is. I'll give you a
Okay.
hint.
Uh-huh.
It's a director.
Uh-huh.
It's a recent Best Director winner at the Oscars.
A recent Best Director winner at the Oscars who would have had security guards.
I will say
Ooh.
I don't know if he came with security or if he like showed up and the AMC was like call security like to make him safer.
Yeah.
I don't
Uh
he doesn't seem like the kind of person that would travel with security.
Sean
But
Baker?
no, bigger.
Best Director. Oh man, I'm trying to think of like recent winners and I'm like drawing a blank right now. Um 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 Oh wait, is it Nolan?
It was Nolan. It was Sir Christopher Nolan was sitting two
Wow.
rows in front of us,
At the
and
AMC
we had no
16.
idea, no idea, and like at all until I ran into somebody that we went to Emerson with also who was in the theater who saw him. Because we were like, Ariel was like, we should wait, we should see who it is, like who comes out. And I was like, nah. And I left and I ran into our friend and I was like, yeah, do you know what's up with this? And he was like, oh, Nolan's. I was like, what? He's like, oh yeah, it's Nolan.
That's
Great.
so funny. I mean, I
But
think I've
hey, I appreciate that. Man of the people. He's at the Burbank AMC on opening night with his wife.
yeah, because I was gonna say I think I've seen him before at Universal City Walk, so I was like, I don't that's funny that he was there at
Not
AMC.
a
He
City
probably was
Walk
just like
boy.
he's like, "Damn, I couldn't get a City Walk ticket. I guess I gotta slum it with the
I
normal
gotta
people."
hoof it. I gotta hoof it to
Yeah,
Burbank.
yeah. Wild. Well,
How did you see it? Yeah.
my movie watching experience was not as interesting. I was there with friend of the pod James. We saw it in Dolby on a midday Monday screening because it was President's Day here.
Mm.
So a lot of people had off on Monday. And it was quite packed. Like we didn't really have a, I mean, it's the seats are in those big theaters. Honestly, like you're not gonna have like a terrible, terrible seat. The screen's big enough that if you're on the far edge,
It's
you're still like,
huge.
ah,
Yeah.
it's good enough.
It's fine.
But yeah, not quite centered. But yeah, saw it there. Um, yeah, I don't know. I think I couldn't tell what the crowd reaction was because, this was a tough movie.
Don't spoil it yet, Evan.
Yeah. Why don't we get into it right now then? Wuthering Heights, right? Released
Okay.
February 13th, 2026, written and directed by
Whoa, whoa,
Emerald
whoa, wait.
Fenell.
Evan, you have to preface this is Wuthering Heights in quotation marks. I
Oh
know that
yeah,
you went into the outline and you added the quotation marks because I forgot them. So we need to preface for the audience that when we're talking about Wuthering Heights, the movie, the quotations are there.
I was gonna say that actually. I was thinking about that. I was like, oh, I should say quotation mark Wuthering Heights close quotation mark. But yeah.
They're there for a
Uh
reason, Evan. It's an artistic intention by Ms.
it
Fennell.
is true. It is, yeah, that is true. So again, yes, this movie was released just this past weekend, February 13th, 2026, written and directed by Emerald Fennell, produced by Fennell, Josie McNamara, and Margot Robbie. Of course, starring Margot Robbie, Jacob Elordi, Hong Chow, Shazad Latif, Allison Oliver, Martin Clunes, and Ewan Mitchell. Loosely based off of the Emily Bronte novel, Wuthering Heights is the story of
Extremely loose.
Catherine Earnshaw and Heathcliff as they grow up together in the 1700s and confront their difficult feelings for each other. So, as we kind of teed up, this is a movie we've been thinking about for a long time, talking about for a long time. We have not been strangers, or we've made it very clear about how we feel about Admiral Fennell's past work.
Yeah.
So before we really
Spoiler, we're
launch
not fans.
before we launch into this movie, I think like some of the positives, I think when I was watching this movie, it was tough to be very open-minded to it. I don't think I was in a great headspace to just like receive the movie as is, right? I'll be 100%
Mm.
honest. So, do you think there's obviously a lot of bias that went into going into this movie and watching it? But one of the things that I think I resonated with in the trailers was the music and the visuals and the pairing of such, and that is something that Emerald Fennell is really good at, and I think that's something that she continues to be really good at in this movie too. Obviously, the Charlie XCX score is going to really hit with me. Big fan of hers. But the visuals in this are still really interesting. A lot of like interesting ornate decorations and how the camera moves within this space and things like that. I definitely was like, and the colors too, right? Like we're often lots of people are often talking about how movies aren't like super colorful anymore and stuff like that, and she wasn't afraid to really inject a lot of color into this movie, right? Like even
Mhm.
this is not like Wizard of Oz saturation, but like if
No,
Wicked and Wicked for Good had at least adjusted their color levels to what these color levels were, we might not all be like, "Why does Wicked look like that?" You know?
fair. Yeah, I want to be very clear, but I don't think this is a bad movie. I don't. Like, I think that it's competently made, and for the most part, I liked looking at it. I liked the costumes. I don't care if they're period inaccurate. I know a lot of people were up in arms about that. Like, I don't really care about that. I think they're pretty. Um, but what bothers me is that it's kind of just an extremely bad adaptation. Like, it's a very like I couldn't stop thinking while I was there, like sitting in the theater, like, why couldn't this have been an original film by Emerald Fennell? Like, why did she have to pick Wuthering Heights and kind of butcher it like this? Like, it's mostly just not even Wuthering Heights. You know, I reread it for this occasion. I
Mhm.
announced to you and the pod in the last time that we recorded, and Wuthering Heights is like, it's such a weird book, but it's not a romance, you know, like it is, but it's not.
Mhm.
It's not this longing, yearning, like I love you, but you're my half sister, kind of, or whatever romance. Like it's about revenge, it's about anger, it's about class, it's about like real estate and property, weirdly. Like there's just a lot of stuff in there that is completely ejected from the movie, like because clearly Fennell wanted to focus on like assembling this romance and not
Mhm.
on the actual like conflict in the book, because the conflict in the book is not sexy. Like she wanted to
Yeah.
make a sexy, provocative movie. And I just don't understand why she did that with existing characters. Like I think she could have 100% done something like this with original characters and just not been
Yeah.
tied to it at all.
Yeah, that's a really interesting point. I hadn't thought about it
Just
in that
because it's
framework
so
before.
different. It's so different. That other
Yeah.
than that their names are the same and the period is the same and the very loose relationship is the same. But it's really just like you could have given them other names and still set them in this setting and like given it the same setup, and it, you wouldn't have all these people down your throat being like, this is a horrible adaptation, and you whitewash the characters, and like all of that could have been avoided if you just simply made an original work.
Yeah, I mean, looking back to, right, like very quickly pulling up the Wikipedia page, like the way that Wikipedia phrases it is like Emerald Fennell announced that she would write and direct an adaptation of the 1847 novel Wuthering Heights. And recently, as this press cycle has started, there's obviously been some controversy around the casting of Jacob Elordi, who's playing a character who has been described as, like, being darker skinned in the book. And Emerald Fennell, and I think the line has been that this is a movie that is inspired by Wuthering Heights at this point. And to your point, Gabby, it's like, you could have just done this without calling it Wuthering Heights. Like, how much are you gaining by trading on the Wuthering Heights name? You know?
Right. Like it's not like it is, not to spoil our further conversation, but it's not like it is Romeo and Juliet. Like people are
Right.
not
Yeah.
quite as familiar with the tale of Wuthering Heights as they are
Hmm.
with Romeo and Juliet. And I think that's why this marketing campaign and like the trailer and the movie has been kind of able to rewrite the story as this longing, yearning romance, because people don't really read Wuthering Heights as much. Like, it's not a book that I had to read in high school. It's something that I read in college,
Yeah.
because I was like in a literature class. It's not like something that is necessarily handed to you the way that Romeo and Juliet was handed to me in ninth grade.
Right, and it feels like this kind of like classics from an era where, like, as you might just remember like the general shape and vibe of the book without remembering like specifics, right? Like, I feel
Yeah,
like,
you remember Kathy and Heathcliff as names, and
yeah,
like that's about it. And I think that that's kind of what this movie remembers too. It's like the Cliff Notes version of
yeah,
Wuthering
yeah.
Heights. But
And so
yeah,
to kind of like get into that, right? Like, I think something that I struggled with this movie specifically is that, like, I felt like it was just kind of a weird script. Like, I was just getting frustrated, and I also didn't really like Kathy as a character. Like, obviously, I think the point is that she's supposed to be quite selfish, but like, it's tough
I'm
seeing.
okay with that. But like I was okay with her being unlikable. What I
Sure.
didn't what I again, this is a loose adaptation. I'm sure that Margot Robbie producing it had a huge part in why she was cast as Kathy or vice versa. Um like somehow like Margot Robbie being Kathy helped get this movie made. And
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
and not be a Netflix movie because that was an option at some point.
Mhm.
But what yeah, I think that also what you're pointing out is something that is also changed from the book, which is their ages.
Mm.
Which, you know, Kathy is supposed to be like 19. So a lot of her
Mm.
behavior makes a lot more sense if you're
Yeah, when
thinking
she's
about a
young, yeah.
19-year-old
Mhm.
than a 35-year-old woman. Which Margot Robbie looks incredible. She does not look 35. I'm not knocking her age at all. I'm
Yeah,
just saying that
yeah.
that's something that they changed that like I think that her behaviors make more sense in the context of like being a teenager.
Yeah, 100%. And also, like, the reasons why they can't be together, like, via marriage, right?
Right, exactly.
This is something that came up with some friends that I was talking to that also watched the movie, but they were saying, like, if you with the movie removing the kind of, like, potential race conflict, it's like, well, the husband in this movie is so supportive that like and
Mhm.
so nice to her that if she was just like, "Hey, I'm not feeling it anymore. Maybe we just get divorced." Like he probably would have said, "This sucks, but okay, let's do it." if
That's
if
true.
that's what'll
I
make you
ride for
happy.
Linton. I ride for
Yeah.
Mr. Linton. He seems like a good hang, good husband.
Yeah. Um
A little too into missionary for me, but like that's okay. We can work on that. Um yeah, I think it didn't bother me that she had some scenes where she was unlikable because ultimately in the book Heathcliff and Kathy are both extremely unlikable. Like they're
and
kind of both bad people and that's
mhm,
part of what keeps attracting them to each other, I think.
yeah.
Was always my interpretation, but that didn't bother me a lot. What were there other parts of the script that you felt like were
Well, no,
a
I
little
think it was
off?
just because of how unlikable she is, and then eventually how unlikable Heathcliff becomes also. I was just like, I don't know what I'm supposed to be like. I don't like, okay, yeah, I guess it's just that they're doomed because they're just both really mean, but I was like, I don't know, I'm not really here for it, I guess. But that's also part of me just being very ungenerous to the movie. I think I just wasn't really open to what the story could be, but I was just finding myself
Yeah.
pretty frustrated throughout the film because I was just like, I don't
Wow.
know, I think maybe
I'm
just this world is not for me, but yeah.
I'm learning this for the first time on air because we haven't really talked about our feelings about the movie, but I may have been more open-minded to it than you were. Like
I think you were, yeah.
I don't think it's like a poor I actually I'm gonna blow your mind. I think this is my favorite Emerald Fennell movie. That's not saying very much. I mean, it my rankings are literally like Wuthering Heights 1, a cliff,
Uh-huh.
Saltburn, and then like a chasm to Promising Young Woman.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, and we can get into this a little bit more, but like, I think just like general, like, the tone of this movie is, classically, Emerald Fennell, like the third act is she always loves to just like go crazy, but like, I think this is the most consistent of her movies, like, from a tone and
Yeah.
scripting perspective.
Yeah, I agree. And I thought that the kind of time period and the aesthetics suited her sensibilities. Like I think that it makes a lot of sense for her to be working in a period piece with
Mm-hmm.
just how visual she is.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll talk about that a little more when we talk about just like her directing style. But I do want to touch on the tone
Mm-hmm.
of it a little bit because this is something that I figured out from watching this movie that really, really bothers me about her films across all three of them. It's really on display for me in this one, because maybe because the marketing has been so in your face. But my problem is that she seems to just really want to be provocative and be like nudging you the whole movie to be like, are you shocked yet? Are you shocked yet? Are you shocked at what you're seeing? Like, are you gasping? Like,
Mhm.
and I feel like it just none of it is that provocative. Like she just kind
Yeah.
of gets to the edge of like suggesting something that could
Mhm.
be provocative or that could be something that you don't really see on screen, and then she pulls back and like goes right back to, some beautiful, scenery or something, like doesn't fully go there. And like I don't care about like the runny eggs and the kneading the bread like you're fucking it and the skin wall. All of that, horrible. I hate it. Like, show me like actual fucking. If that's what you want to show it to me. But like even all of the sex scenes in this movie are like, I'm not a straight person. I, but it just didn't seem, it seemed flat. Like it seemed like
Yeah.
they did. I personally, and I think you agree, I don't think they have very much chemistry together.
Yeah.
I think that they're both incredibly attractive and that they're both really good performers. I don't think that
Mhm.
means that they have chemistry.
Yeah,
But
I think the scene that really affected me was when he returns from being gone, and his stature and his look and the costume combined with the fog and the music. I
the
honestly was like,
slutty little
"Oh,
earring.
yeah." I was like, "Damn." I was like, "Oh, we're in." And then they
Hmm.
started talking again. I'm like, "Nah, fuck."
It's just like, uh, and it's another one of those things that she's kind of teasing you the whole time, where she's like, oh, it's forbidden, but they want each other so bad. And isn't that so bad? Ooh. And then they like consummate their feelings for each other. And it's just like a montage of clothed sex.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you don't even you barely even see him without a shirt on. Like, like it's completely kind of like not provocative at all in that
I think
regard.
that's what was also frustrating me throughout the movie is that Emerald Fennell post Saltburn, part of her appeal is that like, oh, she's a shocking director, right? These images will shock you. And I'll say credit to Saltburn, it definitely shocked and surprised, you know.
I was
E-
shocked by how big Barry Keegan's dick is.
yeah.
That's what I was shocked by, and I say good for him. But like, I don't think too much more of that. That's another movie though to me that like it was trying so hard to provoke me and to provoke its audience, like the scene where he's like fucking the grave, in
Yeah.
Saltburn. I'm like, that just to me was like a what are we doing here scene, like what is going on here. But
Well,
I could feel her being like, oh, this is so crazy, this is so gonna be so insane to watch on screen and blah. Like, it just doesn't get there for me. It just kind of
so
feels silly.
I don't disagree with you in that with the notion. I'll just say that it surprised me, right? When like the images in that movie surprised me because I just didn't expect that that's where the movie was going to go.
But
And
that's an original movie.
right. So
Saltburn is an original movie.
with Barry Keoghan, like, fucking the dirt or whatever, I also will like kind of roll my eyes, was like, okay, this is sure, whatever, right? And I think that's as like quote unquote transgressive as that movie's going to get. And for what that movie is, like, sure, that's going for me, that'll work. But when you have Wuthering Heights and there is this like this is a adaptate or like loosely based on one of these like a great love story and they're showing all these shots in the trailer of the bread of the eggs and you're like, oh, they're showing this because there's something more beyond that, and
There's
then
nothing more.
there isn't anything more. And so I really
No.
do agree with what you're saying about like she's just like nudging and nudging, but there isn't any more there, and that makes the movie even more frustrating and disappointing.
Yeah.
If you're like, if you are going to trade on this name and trade it as it like, hey, this is going to be this really like, sexual deviant twist on this thing, then like actually go there and don't like and don't be afraid to like make the audience mad in that way, as opposed to being
Sure.
like, oh no, I'm not, I we won't cross that line or whatever.
Yeah, I would have respected that a lot more. I just think that where I can't respect like, her kind of vision through any of these stories is that she wants transgression, and she wants you to like leave the theater having a conversation about how shocking and salacious what you've seen is. But she refuses, for example, and I'm going to talk about the race thing now. So turn it off if you don't want to hear it. Skip ahead if you don't want to hear me whine. But uh, if she really wanted to have these conversations, if she really wanted to do something different and edgy and really, push the envelope with a
Mhm.
Wuthering Heights adaptation, there has never been a Wuthering Heights adaptation as a feature film with a Heathcliff of color.
Mhm.
And to me, casting Jacob Elordi is like the most obvious casting choice that you could do for this. He's large. He's incredibly large, as this movie goes out of its way to show you a lot of times. It did get me. His hands are very big. I get it. But if you really wanted to push the envelope, why not cast some like large hulking man, same stature, same like square jaw handsomeness, but just like a guy who is South Asian, a guy who is mixed race, like he like implied in the book, and have that conversation. Like push people to think about that and be a little more accurate to the source text that you claim to be so reverent of. She's done so many interviews now about how this book is such a huge influence on her. And I'm like, is it though? Um, but it's just very like, I don't respect that she doesn't want to have that conversation. She
Yeah.
doesn't want to push the envelope. She doesn't want to actually do something different unless it is like sexually shocking or like gonna like become a trend for white girls on Instagram. I don't know. Like that's just what it seems like to me. And
Yeah.
yeah, this is not a knock on Elordi. I thought that he did everything he could with this. I think he's a good performer. I even thought he was good in Frankenstein, which I like less than this movie. but but it's just kind of was so obvious to me that if you really wanted to do something transgressive and different with a beloved text, then maybe push the envelope by doing something actually different and not just like suggesting that maybe Heathcliff, you know, likes it rough. I don't know.
Yeah.
Of course he
Yeah,
likes it rough. He's
totally.
6'7".
You can't say six,
He can't
seven.
he okay, 6'6" and 3/4. He's huge.
Yeah.
And I feel like anything with him would be not gentle. He's just a large
Yeah.
man.
No, yeah.
Um
I think those are some super valid points for sure. I think that it'll be, Emerald Fennell, I think, is definitely has a vision when it comes to directing movies, right? She has a very
she does.
visual style that guides her, and like there's images she's interested in, there's production design elements she's interested in, and I would be really curious to see like what the next thing she does if she just doesn't write it. Like, I mean, she
I think we
this
need to
is
take her final draft away. Is
yeah, yeah.
what I like I agree. I think she has a vision. I like watching her visuals, but even like Saltburn, it feels like that's an original movie by her, right?
Mhm.
And it feels like she just like went out to the English countryside and like saw that castle and was like, I'm gonna write a movie that takes place in this castle. And like let it come to me. And that's it. Like,
Hey,
okay.
that's my
Um,
process, okay, Gabby? So listen, I empathize with Emerald Fennell if that's the
it's a
case.
great manor. It's a great house. Not knocking the house, but I'm just saying, I don't think she's thinking that deeply when it comes to story.
Yeah.
So I would be interested to see, yeah, like I think she is a great visual storyteller. I would like to see her do more ornate and interesting things, but I think she maybe needs a co-writer at the very least.
Or just don't write. What's the David Fincher Aaron Sorkin partnership here? What's the Social
Ooh,
Network? What's the Emerald Fennell? Who does she
that's a
need
good
to
point.
work with?
That's a great point. Like maybe she just needs a partnership, but
Yeah.
somebody who also does I'm gonna like check myself because I don't want to say this wrong, but I think that the um director that she reminds me of the most, which is why I recommended our pairing today, is Baz Luhrmann. Because
Mm.
Baz Luhrmann's movies are usually all style, like
Mm-hmm.
incredibly he is the epitome of style over substance filmmakers. And
Wow,
and
compared to Wes
Emerald
Anderson? Okay. I
Emerald
think,
is like coming for that, you know?
yeah.
Like she's coming for that crown. And I think that he does have co-writers though, you know? Like I don't like Baz
Yeah,
Luhrmann
so
does write things,
Baz Luhrmann
but
has
he
worked with
has
the same writer for all of his feature films.
right. He has a co-writer. I didn't want to get
Mm.
that wrong. But yeah, it's just it's interesting to me that like I think she has something like that I enjoy watching, but I just want to feel satisfied by one of her films and I have yet to feel that.
Yeah. 100%. I think the last thing that I want to talk about with Wuthering Heights is final question, is the whole movie Nellie's fault?
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, they try and make that's another thing. Like they try and make Nellie like Nellie is kind of the villain of the book. She's an unreliable narrator, but they really try to pin it all on Nellie in the movie to avoid making Kathy or Heathcliff the actual villain.
Oh no, they're both everyone's complicit. You know, I'm not
I
saying
know,
it's
but
all
in the
Nelly,
book
but
they're
yeah.
even more so like they suck. Like all of them
Oh,
suck.
okay. Yeah.
But yeah, I think the book is really just like Nellie. I wanted to point out another positive of the
Mhm.
movie, which is the Alison Oliver performance.
Mhm.
Loved it. Loved every minute of it. Let's cast her in everything. Let's get her to the White Lotus. Like
Oh, that's fun.
get
Yeah.
her on my screens. She was an incredible character insert, like, you know, for the audience. I felt like that scene with her and Jacob Elordi where he's like, I'm gonna be really bad to you. Like, I'm never gonna love you. And she's just like, okay. He's like, do you want me to stop? And she's like, no. I was like, wow, that feels like every woman in this theater right now. Um,
Kind of
l-
unrecognizable from Saltburn.
yeah, completely different look, but
Mhm.
honestly, I really liked her in Saltburn too. I think she kind of steals the show in both of these movies. So I that's a collaboration that I welcome.
She's
Emerald
dating
Fennell
Josh
and
O'Connor, according to Wikipedia.
lucky bitch.
Wow. Wait, how tall is she? Because he's pretty tall too.
Lucky. Yeah, look up her
Um,
height.
did
Live,
you watch
live, look up her height.
did you watch The Order, the movie last
No.
year? She's in
No, is
that.
that the white, like the white supremacist one?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I think so.
okay. With
She's
Nicholas Holt.
5'7" and he is 6'1".
Okay.
Oh,
He
he's not
likes,
like freakishly tall, but he's tall.
yeah, he's no Jacob Elordi.
Yeah. He's no
Um,
Frankenstein's monster.
that's part of what makes him a great Frankenstein's monster is
That's
he's
true.
freakish tall. Um, but is there anything you wanted to say? I know you were kind of not not thrilled with either of the lead performances.
I think
Um,
they're fine. I think it comes more down to the characters than it comes down to like the just them acting. I think like you said about Jacob Elordi, like doing the best with what he's given, and I think that is the same. Oh, I did want to ask when I guess spoiler. Well, this is the first real spoiler we're saying actually. The rest of this really isn't a spoiler.
this is a
But
book. This is mostly a book.
yeah, but when the father dies and she goes in the house and all the glass bottles are piled
Oh
up on
my god.
the walls, did your theater laugh?
Yes.
Yeah, there's a big
It
laugh
looks really
behind
bad.
me, which
It
got
looks
all of
really
us
bad.
comfortable to laugh. Yeah, it was
It
tough.
just it looks like you kind of just like micro like copied it in Photoshop
Yeah,
like 3 bottles like 12 different times.
it felt like Poor Things, but like derogatory.
Ooh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, maybe that's a good collaborator for her, but he's already taken is Yorgos's writer. What's his
Oh,
name? Tony something. He did Cruella. I know.
he did Cruella.
I know he did Cruella. So he can do things that are a little more
I don't know.
commercial.
Screenplay
Tony
by Tony
McNamara.
McNamara. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Interesting. I'd be
Yeah.
that could be a good co-writer for you, Emerald, if you're listening.
I think
I
she
hope
is.
I hope
I think
she's
she
not.
probably has Google alerts for her name, you know, and the
I
AI
hope she's
transcripts
not.
of our podcast make it to her Google alerts. And
I
she's
hope
like, "Who
she's
are
not
these guys?"
listening. This is a really tough sit. If she is
I don't
listening.
think this is as tough as other like
Oh
movie
no,
reviewers could be.
I've heard some really like straight up mean ones. I try and at least have rationale for why I'm being mean.
Yeah. And I mean,
I'm not like ruthlessly mean, but
I think we said this on another podcast too, but like I think both of us are very much willing to revisit Promising Young Woman, right? Did you say that?
I have
No.
never said that. But
Someone told me that the other day and I was like, "You know what? Yeah, I'd rewatch it just to make sure that I have a good grasp on how fumbled the ending was."
that's the one Emerald Fennell movie that my fiance has not seen. And she has expressed interest in watching it multiple times, and I have shut her down so hard. But
Oh
like
my
each
god.
time, I'm like, you need to watch that without me because you won't recognize me. I'll be so angry.
Wow, we're gonna
Um,
do a watch party.
oh no, you and Ariel just popping popcorn, having some rosé. Um,
What's the Blake like? Put on your florals. This one's for the girls.
put on your corset and your dyed multicolored wig nurse uniform. This is for the girls.
Oh god. Oh god. What about you? Any final things?
No, just that I would like to see something from her with some teeth eventually.
Yeah.
Like I do I think she's capable of going that extra step, but she just like for some reason keeps pulling back, and maybe she thinks that there's some kind of like restraint in that, like
Mm,
some kind of something satisfying in that restraint, but I kind of just like want you to go all the way, girl. Like do it. Shock me. Wuthering my heights. Like I'm begging you to actually, provoke me or
I
make
mean,
me
there.
feel something. I that's the thing too is I left the theater and I felt nothing. Like
Yeah.
like I
Yeah.
didn't feel really anything. I was like that movie was fine. I expected to hate it more. I expected to like it more. Like I expected something, like some feeling coming
Yeah.
out of it. Like I left Saltburn and I was like actively like why the fuck did that get
Yeah.
made?
I was mad.
I was like, this makes no sense. It's an awful screenplay. How did no one like, reread this? Um but yeah, I just want to feel something. Like that's what her whole thing or what she seems to be building her whole like auteur brand on is like
Mm-hmm.
provoking and making people, really deeply feel things in her movies. And I'm
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
and I'm just like it has yet to be done. Prove me wrong.
There are people that like Saltburn, and there are people that like this movie quite a bit, right? This movie has elicited strong emotional reactions from lots of people. I think I even saw Allison Brie posting on Instagram being like, "I sobbed, I loved it." And I was like,
Sure.
I think a
I
little
mean,
less of Allison Brie now, but
yeah. I think that if you did, I think your brain is a little bit smoother than mine. But I say that with love. But I think that I don't know. I think also I just couldn't get on board because again, this is not a great romance and it
yeah,
could have been if you just
yeah,
like made it something original with other characters. Then maybe I would have
yeah.
cried.
I think
I
that's a
did laugh.
great take.
Actually, I laughed. I'm gonna be so honest. I laughed when Kathy died because the bleeding out of the vagina
Uh huh.
as her death.
Yeah,
I was like, okay, we're going too on the nose here. We're going way too on the nose, and this is not the provocateur that I need.
yeah,
I don't need this. I see this every 28 days. I don't need to see this on my screen in IMAX. It's just not for me.
Oh my god. No, I'm like, so stupid. Never mind. I'm gonna have to fucking cut that.
See?
No, no, yeah, yeah. That's bad. Yeah,
Leave
that's
it.
rough.
Leave it.
Leave it, leave it. All right. Well, speaking of leaving it, let's leave Wuthering Heights behind and talk about William Shakespeare's Romeo plus Juliet. We'll be right back. We are back to talk about William Shakespeare's Romeo plus Juliet, released November 1st, 1996, directed by Baz Luhrmann, written by Luhrmann, and like we said earlier, frequent collaborator Craig Pierce, produced by Luhrmann, Gabriella Martinelli, and Elsa Hermoso, starring a veritable who's who. There's a really big cast for this movie, but just to highlight a few: Leonardo DiCaprio, Claire Danes, John Leguizamo, Pete Postlethwaite, Harold Perrineau, Paul Rudd, Vondi Curtis Hall, and Miriam Margolyes, who I guess is also pretending to be Spanish or Mexican.
It doesn't matter. No questions at this time.
No questions. So yeah, this is, Baz Luhrmann's adaptation of Romeo and Juliet. It made $147 million against a 14.5 million budget. This movie, Romeo plus Juliet, $14 million to make.
Chump
That's
change.
crazy.
Chump change.
I feel like Lady Bird cost $14 million to make or some
Yeah,
shit,
no.
like.
Boy, oh boy.
Oh man, he got his bang for his buck in this movie. Like, let me tell you.
Nah, this movie's crazy. We're gonna get into it.
Yeah. But Wuthering Heights so far, again, we are recording this shortly after the, first opening weekend. It's made $94 million worldwide. Made a lot of money for a movie of its kind in the first weekend. More
Yeah,
than half of this money, though, is coming internationally, is led by the UK, obviously.
of course.
So it's strong international showing for this movie. Really, we'll have to see how word of mouth is on this movie, how it, falters it or doesn't falter in week 2. But I mean, hey, good sign for the movies and another Warner Brothers movie.
Yeah, a great time for the movies. Like this, we were kind of saying, in our last pod that maybe Dumpuary is dead and there are audiences in the winter, and Wuthering Heights is proving that. It is,
Yeah.
it made back its entire budget in 4 days. And
Yeah.
that's a real accomplishment. That's a huge feat. I do think it's going to continue to make money. I think that this movie, I'm not sure if you're aware, Evan, I'm not sure if your algorithm is as cursed as mine, but this movie is everywhere. This movie is on like the Gen Z / young millennial, like TikTok algorithm and the Reels algorithm. It's everywhere. People are seeing it. People are loving it. People are dressing up in like, Kathy inspired corsets.
I
Like,
just feel like this is a tough rewatch, though.
I don't think it's gonna get a lot of repeat views, but I do think that it's going to have kind of the same tale. I don't think it's gonna be nearly as big as Barbie. I'm not gonna say that.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I think it's gonna have a similar like lifespan where it can sustain, because I'm just gonna say it, we need to just keep making movies for women. Women go to the movies.
Let
Like
me go to the
in
movies.
Women go
Yeah.
to the movies.
Yeah.
I think that it's a similar, kind of audience. You know, you get your high schoolers who are reading it, your,
Mm-hmm.
people who are just being exposed to it, people who are going to want to be exposed to it, and then go on to read the book, and then they'll be like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
This is
You have
not what I watched.
your Elordi stands, your Margot Robbie stands,
Yeah, I think that it'll have a life in theaters for at
Yeah.
least another month, and I think that Mr. Elordi's Oscar campaign will be helped by the box office and by him kind of being leading man status officially. Like
Yeah.
opening a really huge movie like this um, to a big box office worldwide.
What's he doing next?
I think it's a Ridley Scott movie he has coming out this summer. And
Oh
of
yeah, the
course,
Dog Stars.
Euphoria season 3. Come on, Evan.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Oh, this is gonna be like a post-apocalyptic movie. Oh, this sounds
And
interesting.
and he is rumored to be in talks for Bond, which I don't believe, but
Yeah, we
It would
posted it
be
on Instagram and
interesting.
most people voted no. I think only one person voted yes.
I'm just gonna say he's too tall
Too
uh, uh,
tall.
to be like an undercover spy. His big ass would be visible, you
Well,
know?
he could be in a universe where everyone's tall.
That's true. They would have to like only cast Elizabeth Debicki as his Bond girl. I'm serious to make them
Freaking
look.
got him. Oh, that's so
Yeah,
good. That's so good.
that would make them both look
I mean,
completely
or
normal
they
height.
like give everyone custom wedges to walk around on. They build taller they build
Yeah,
taller
that's what Denis
doorways.
Villeneuve's gonna do. He's gonna
Yeah,
customize the wedges.
he's customizing the world for
Um,
Jacob Elordi. Yeah.
I don't also Elordi is Australian, and I don't know if
Mhm.
they would. I don't know if they would cast a non-British Bond.
Oh, that's
I
true.
know it's kind of like yeah, it's
Is
like to
Callum Turner too expected? Is he too much of the expected pick?
I don't know. I think that he's the choice personally. He's very
He's so
handsome.
hot. I
He's
watched
very,
Eternity. Did I tell you about that?
no.
I watched
See,
Eternity. We forgot to address that in
I
the beginning. That would have been a
I would
nice
pick
little touch
him.
point.
I would pick him
Yeah.
hands down. I don't care if I
Yeah.
spent my life with Miles Teller. I would have said I did my time with Miles Teller, and now I get to be with Callum Turner. But
Yeah, but he loves skiing too much.
I'll watch him
Spoilers for
ski.
Eternity, sorry.
I'll watch him ski for eternity. Um, but I don't know. Maybe Callum Turner is too expected. I think that the curveball is honestly is Josh O'Connor.
Yeah, that is a curveball. Yeah.
I'm like he's less expected, but I think he would kill it. He would just
Yeah.
be like simply a less suave Bond, but
Mhm.
or maybe Leo Woodall. But I feel like Leo Woodall's too short.
I'm just jealous because he's dating Megan Fahey. I'll say it on the pod.
I thought you were gonna be like he's ugly. I'm like he's not, but
No, that's the
he does.
problem.
I I have I have no idea how tall he is, but he does come across as a
I
short
think he's
king.
short. I think he must be like 6 even if not 5'9". His height does
Whoa,
not automatically.
not even 5'10". You went straight to 5'9".
Oh, sorry. I forgot that you measure feet in 12 inches. No, he's 5'11". Yeah.
Okay,
Allegedly, according to celebrityheights.com.
allegedly. Ooh, my
Yeah.
favorite website. Um,
Well, let's talk about some awards that Romeo plus Juliet received. It was
yes.
only nominated for one Academy Award, what we now call Best Production Design, but it did win 4 BAFTAs: Best
Mm,
Direction, Adapted Screenplay, Original Score, called Original Film Music for the BAFTAs, and Best Production Design. It is a nice score, though. I mean, good
yeah.
soundtrack and good score. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
And in case you have never seen or heard of Romeo and Juliet, I'll tell you what it's about. This is a modern adaptation of Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet, the origin story of the phrase star-crossed lovers. As Romeo Montague and Juliet Capulet fall head over heels for each other, and their lives take a crazy turn in literally like 3 days. Uh,
yeah.
but yeah, in case you've never read Romeo and Juliet or seen another adaptation, they're from like feuding families.
Hmm.
Their love is forbidden, but they like fall in love over like in one night, and then they get married the next day, and they die the day after that.
Similar to the movie we covered last week, Castaway, this is a story that's also been done in many different ways in many different cartoon
Ooh,
shows.
oh yeah. You if you haven't seen it, like yes, you have. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
um, I actually, speaking of, I had not seen this movie, which
Which
is
is
funny because
interesting.
I suggested it.
Yeah,
Like,
this I think this might be the first movie that you've suggested that you haven't seen. I feel like
yeah, yeah,
that we've decided on as a pairing. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I came out of this movie and I came out of Wuthering Heights and I like thought about the pairing a little bit. I thought about maybe throwing in like an Austen kind of romance or something like another period romance, but
Hmm.
then I remembered that they literally reference Romeo and Juliet in Wuthering Heights. Like Alison Oliver's character
That's right.
is
Yeah.
like recounting the love story of Romeo and Juliet to Mr. Linton in a very, very
And
funny
it's like
scene.
the theme of the movie.
It is Emerald. Why didn't you just make Romeo and Juliet? Question mark. But um,
She should. Maybe
she
she should.
should. Maybe she doesn't want to step on Baz's feet, but
Yeah.
um, but that's what I thought of because I hadn't seen this movie, but I knew that it was hyper stylized, like, you know, kind of a modern twist, but still keeping the dialogue from the play. And Wuthering Heights does keep some of the dialogue from the book. And what really sold it to me was the Leo Elordi kind of comps as like
Mm.
romantic leading men. And I feel like this Romeo plus Juliet was like the start of seeing Leo as like, you know, heartthrob status in the 90s. Like
Yeah.
he was more of a child actor before this. And then Titanic put him through the roof. But
Mm-hmm.
um but yeah, it's funny because this is one of those movies that I would have sworn to you that I've seen it. And then I put it on and I was like, oh, there's no way I've seen this. I would remember. Like this movie's
Well,
crazy.
I think that's like a good, like, a similar way that how I felt about this movie too, because I definitely was shown this movie in high school as part of English class, right?
Oh, really?
It's like,
Your
oh
school was cool enough to do that?
yeah, Miss shout out Mrs. Quick. That was my English
Oh.
teacher. She was once we finished Romeo and Juliet, she's like, "Okay, I'm going to show you the famous Romeo and Juliet, right? With Olivia Hussey, where
Yeah,
all
that's
the
the one I
boys
got. Yeah, that's
all
the
the
one I
boys in high
saw.
school are like, she's topless for 2 seconds." um,
All
but
the high school boys and me were like, yeah.
so so we watched that, and then I don't remember if we read another Shakespeare or if she then immediately also showed us this movie. But she wanted to
Mm,
show us like the power of adaptation and how you could change things. Because then eventually down the line for English class, we were allowed to make like video projects or other projects. But she was like, but you're adapting Shakespeare. So like go take a Shakespeare story that you know and like adapt it somehow, like
mm,
change it up, make it something else. And so um my friends and I, we made bad movies, the Shakespeare movies and stuff like that. But we spent a lot of time looking at different adaptations of Shakespeare stories, and like especially for me, I was very much interested in like how much can you twist this to be something different, right? And so I remember this movie fondly because obviously the when Romeo and Juliet meet, that underwater scene is so iconic. Like the fish tank
oh
scene
god,
is
yeah.
it's so iconic. And I was like, "Oh yeah." And I remember distinct images from this, but when I put it on 2 years ago, because I own, I think Baz Luhrmann, I own 3 of Baz Luhrmann's movies, like it's a DVD like collection set, and I put it on while I was at my parents' house over the holidays or something, and I just sat there, I was like, "Oh my god." I remember just the fact that there's a Jesus statue,
Oh
the
yeah.
fish tank scene, and the church,
Hmm.
nothing else. And
Nothing else.
everything else is insane.
This movie is crazy. Like
It's so crazy.
just like making the Montagues and the Capulets like gangs, like kind of
Uh-huh.
gangs. I was like, oh, okay. And they literally cast what's his face? Paul Sorvino
Pulsar,
as
yeah.
yeah, from Goodfellas
Uh-huh.
as the father of
Yeah.
Juliet. And I was like, okay, so we're doing some mob shit. Gang shit. I was like, I'm locked in. But
Yeah.
um yeah, the just like this movie also being just like such a I didn't remember or had like blocked out that Paul Rudd is in this movie
Yeah.
as Paris, like that he is
Mhm.
the choice, like he's who she's supposed to be with. Um and I gotta say, John Leguizamo was kind of cracking me up. He was really dialing it up. This
Yeah,
movie,
he's
he's like at 11.
him, and then the, Harold Perrineau who plays Mercutio too.
Yes, they're
Yeah.
like they know what movie they're in, and they are
Mhm.
dialed in.
And
Um,
also the opening set piece is incredible. Like the
yeah.
Montague boys, but like the gas station fight, and then the way that they're dressed and they're talking, but combined with the Shakespeare dialogue, you're just like, "What is going on?" They pull out guns. There's a
Oh
close
my
up on the
god.
guns that says
The
they're
guns.
swords.
Yep, the guns. That's I think that's kind of like how I knew this movie actually was like this is the Romeo and Juliet with guns. and we didn't watch it in my high school and I think that that's kind of part of it was like I don't know. I went to Catholic school. They
I mean,
weren't
he's
fun.
also the priest, right? Is like, or Father Lawrence is kind of he's like
Uh-huh.
an alcoholic, right? I think, or he's like drinking a lot.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah. Yeah, I
It's
guess he's
heavily
not an
implied.
alcoholic, but yeah, he's not maybe quite straight and narrow, you know?
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
implied. But yeah,
Uh,
I was just really taking this one in. Just really letting it wash over me. Um and I mean, I can do that because I know the story so well and because
mhm,
or like I feel like yeah, you just know Romeo and Juliet so you don't need
yeah.
to be like worrying about the structure of it or anything. Like it's just kind of there. And I
Mhm.
guess that's kind of the beauty or like the endurance of these kind of like literary romances, literary
Mm.
loves, you
Yeah.
know? Like maybe that is a big part of it is that you know, maybe that is what directors are kind of relying on is that like, okay, so the story is kind of here already, so I can kind of take it and make it my vision.
Yeah, and
And
I think that's one of the best things about this movie is that, like, Baz Luhrmann, his again, is like you said earlier, very stylistic. The way he moves the camera is very in this movie is just like and the way it's edited is so interesting, and just the way he captures Romeo and Juliet meeting and the way that they fall in love. Like, I don't think Claire Danes is very good in this movie. I actually think
no,
she's
she's
quite
not.
poor.
She's not great.
But it's
Leo
you
is
just like
like blowing her off the screen. Leo, 10
yeah,
out of 10, no notes.
but you really feel for the two of them. You kind of like buy that they're falling in love because she at least is like playing this very she at least looks with the angel costume. It's just all like so well done and you're just like, "Damn, nice."
Yeah,
This
I
is a
mean he
cool reimagining.
yeah, and it's very committed, you know? Like
Yes.
it
Yeah.
is committed to the original text so much so that they are speaking it like
Mhm.
as if they were just acting it out as a play. So I mean I think that yeah, it's an incredibly committed and specific vision, which I think is what you need to pull off an adaptation reimagining. And I
If you're
just
yeah.
yeah, I think that watching this kind of reinstilled to me that the Fennel version of Wuthering Heights is not like a full and committed reimagining, you know?
Yeah.
Like there were some punches pulled, you know? Like she didn't go all the
Yeah.
way with that vision. And I feel like Baz Luhrmann does not care. Like he's
Yeah.
just like,
Oh,
I see
yeah.
it this way and this is how it's gonna be.
I mean, you
Um,
could say that about like most of his movies, right? Elvis
oh
and
yeah. Uh,
Gatsby and
Absolutely hated
Moulin Rouge.
Elvis.
Yeah,
I
Elvis is
honestly felt like I was
tough.
gonna throw up for most of Elvis because the cutting is so intense and like every 5 seconds that I was just like nauseous. But
Baz Luhrmann's got the Elvis stock out this coming up this spring. Epic Elvis
should we
Presley in
cover it?
concert.
Should we cover it?
I mean, it would be interesting to compare that to another concert film, I guess. So I guess we'll have to
Mm,
see.
we'll
Or
keep it.
I
Keep it on the
I
docket.
I feel like the real analogy to Epic would be the Beatles Get Back, based on what I
Yeah,
understand. But Beatles Get Back is like a show, so
yeah.
um.
A very
Anyways,
long show.
a very long
It's like 10 hours.
show.
Um,
But
but
that I like what you said though about the commitment, right? Because there are parts of Wuthering Heights that just feel like it could be a normal period piece, right? There's lots of times where they're in the countryside or whatever, or even just the interactions when they're meeting Heathcliff in the beginning, and just some of those like day to day like man like cast not even castle whatever they live in estate interactions. You're just like,
yeah,
oh, this is just it what it is. Whereas this whole movie is like every setting that they're in, there's something
yeah.
that is like tethered to this new world, right? All the exteriors are so crazy
The
or so
Capulet
unique,
compound, like the is
wild.
wild.
The
Absolutely like A plus production design. They deserve
Yeah.
that Oscar.
Yeah, like, the only kinda normal interaction, I think, is, like, when he goes into her bedroom and they, like, sleep together, I guess, but, like, because it's
Yeah.
just a bedroom, but other than that, like, everything feels it feels like such an interesting world, and it's tough because it's, like, is it because it's, like, so saturated and, like, shot on film and this kinda, like, elevated thing, but I
I
don't
think
know.
all of that's part of it. I think that all of that is part of that vision, like,
Yeah.
is putting all of that together and making it dramatic, like, in this way, like, just adding to, like, the cinematic drama of this as an adaptation.
Yeah, we forgot to mention that, Wuthering Heights is shot on 35mm VistaVision cameras.
It is, but it was not projected that way. Why?
Because only one film has been projected in VistaVision, and that's one battle after another.
It could have been 2. Why didn't she do it? Come
Yeah,
on,
that's
Warner Brothers.
true. uh,
Give me Wuthering Heights at the Vista, and maybe I will change my mind.
yeah, give me a film print. Yeah, it would have been nice to have at least one film screening, huh? They didn't
Yeah,
do
they
that.
didn't do any. Actually, would have maybe liked that better, but just
Yeah.
for the vibes.
Um, let's see. Love the Mercutio and um
Tybalt,
Tybalt fight. Really
a
good.
classic. Really,
Yeah.
yeah. They are their swords.
I love Leonardo DiCaprio camping out or Romeo camping out just like in the desert or wherever he is at the trailer park.
No idea where he is.
And that kid
It's
who
not my
can't act.
business. Yeah.
The choir boy who can't act is like, "Hey. She
Okay,
died."
we need to talk about the music. We need to
Uh-huh.
talk about the modern music in Romeo plus Juliet and in Wuthering Heights.
Okay.
Because that
Yeah.
was another like tie that really brought me to this as like a contemporary, because I thought of like Baz Luhrmann is like the king of doing this, like with Moulin Rouge, with
Mhm.
Gatsby, with this, that he
Mhm.
uses contemporary music in period pieces. That's what he does. Um, and so like it felt like by doing the Charlie XCX score, again, I'm a big Charlie fan. I like this music. It took me right out of the movie. Like I didn't think it really fit.
Yeah.
Um like I
I think
was
anytime there wasn't vocals, I was in. But when
yes, the
vocals were kicking in,
vocals,
that's what would pull me out.
yeah. And I felt similarly in Romeo plus Juliet. I was like, I love the score,
Mm.
but when the choir starts singing, I was like, all right. The choir
No.
boys, I was like, I don't know. I don't know if I can get behind this one.
Dude, I was, like,
You're
pulling up
locked in.
Shazam. I was like, "What is this song?"
Isn't it? It's Prince, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's
Yeah.
Prince. I think it's When Doves Cry.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh
that's
my
it.
god.
I was in.
You're in the bag. Are you just you're a Luhrmann guy now?
I know I do. I have liked Baz Luhrmann for a long time, but
Okay.
I think it's because the thing that impresses me the most about his movies um is that I could never read something and imagine it looking like that. And I think that
Yeah.
is what and I think that's something that as much as I said like I'm not like the production design of Wes Anderson's movies not what draws me in usually, but it's another defining trait of his stuff is that I read it I would never imagine looking like that. I mean, obviously he writes his scripts very detailed, but that aside, yeah.
It's funny. I'm gonna match your on one of the Wes Anderson episodes that we did. I think maybe it was. Did we watch Fantastic Mr. Fox for the pod, or did you just tell me that Fantastic Mr. Fox was like an influence on when you went to film school? I
Oh,
think,
yeah, I think I said
or
that.
why
I
you
think
did.
I've said
Yeah,
that on mic, yeah.
yeah. Well, I'm gonna blow your mind and tell you what my movie was that made me want to go to film school, and it was Baz Luhrmann's The Great Gatsby.
We were in school. Oh, you're 1 year younger than me. I
Yeah.
forgot. Yeah,
I
I
had read the book obviously in high school, but I was like I went to see it and I was just so taken by like the opulence, the
yeah,
visuals, like the like actual like yeah, like this movie screaming at you that this is a movie and you're
yeah.
watching a
Mhm.
movie. And
Mhm.
I like it's like shoving it in your face and I was like, wow, I really want to make something like that.
Yeah.
And now I've like seen Elvis and I'm like, oh no, take it away.
But I I think that first hour of Gatsby is so freaking good.
Yeah. And it's
Like,
Leo. It's Leo
it's
again.
Leo. Yeah. This and I to me, it's iconic when Carey Mulligan is introduced.
Oh
The
yeah.
slow-mo, the blind. I'm like, how do you even it's so good.
I
And
love it.
also, the other thing I love about Baz Luhrmann is like he does not give a like frick about frame rate. He'll just like
Oh
speed up,
no.
slow things down. It's like, nope, this is just how I want it. So we're just gonna do it, and you're just gonna have to accept it.
It's
And
the
it's because
vision.
he's
It's
so
the vision.
consistent, you know?
Yeah.
Ugh, that's
It's
what
the
impresses me.
vision, Evan.
Yeah. The vision,
Um,
consistent, committed. Yeah.
yep. And I think, yeah, I would put this now, this insane film that we watched, Romeo plus Juliet, on a tier with Moulin Rouge and Great Gatsby. I think those would be my top three. Uh, Moulin Rouge is number one. It's a goat. I love Moulin
Yeah.
Rouge. Makes no sense. Love it
Makes no
anyway.
sense. Yeah, I know, I
I don't
know.
care. Catch me belting Elephant Love medley while I'm in traffic. Catch me.
I think that's the 3 films that I have. Let me just make sure. I think it's Moulin Rouge, Romeo plus Juliet, and Australia. It's
Oh,
a box set of the 3 of them for some
boo.
reason.
Boo,
Yeah.
Australia.
Uh,
But
I'll
yeah,
watch them.
next up for him is a Joan of Arc movie, which
That's right. Yeah.
I personally am hyped as fuck about. Hyped as hell. Put it in my
Yeah.
veins.
I think they did a big little a big press rollout for the young actress that they cast as Joan of Arc because I think
Yes,
she's relatively unknown.
a
Um,
newcomer. Exactly.
yeah.
Give it to me.
You know what I just saw here? That Natalie Portman was almost cast as Juliet,
Ooh, that would have been
but she was
better.
too young. 14
Oh,
to
that would not
Leonardo
be good.
DiCaprio's 21.
That would be bad. Yeah.
Yeah, because even Claire Danes was 17 in this movie.
Ooh.
Yeah,
So
a little tough, but they
little
look around the
that
same age.
yeah, they look about the same age. I would have said that Leo was like 19 here, but um, he's also just been around for so long.
Yeah,
I'm like, how old is Leo? I think
I
he's
know.
50 now. I think he's in his 50s.
Yeah, I
Uh,
think he's 50 something, 51. Yeah.
yeah, and he's gonna lose another Oscar. How do you feel about that?
I feel fine.
You do? You feel so? Wait, here's a good question. Who do
Uh-huh.
you think could have pulled off the Romeo role in their like prime youth? Is it Elordi or is it Timmy?
Oh, between the two of them, oh, that's tough. I was like gonna say just straight up that I think Timmy's the better actor, but I'm actually not sure because I haven't seen Wonka. That's why I'm not sure.
See, Wonka kind of convinced me on Timmy
I
because
know. I remember you told me that.
if he can do this and Call Me by Your Name and Dune
Yeah.
and like Marty Supreme, I'm like, he's it. He's got
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
When is Elordi gonna do uh a Wonka? Put him in Wonka too. Make him like do something. Like show me that side of you, bud. I want to see that side of Elordi.
I think Timmy would be a better Romeo in Romeo plus Juliet. But I think Elordi could also very convincingly pull off Romeo just generally, you know?
Yeah, I think in a
Yeah.
Romeo plus Juliet, it would be Timmy.
Yeah.
But I think that Elordi would be like a really good Tybalt.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You
That's
know,
fun.
like fiery, you
Hmm.
know,
Yeah.
passionate.
What should Elordi do? Like you just said, you said he should do his Wonka. Should he do a musical or should he just do like a straight comedy?
I don't know if I need to see him in a musical. He doesn't seem like a musical guy.
Yeah.
But you know what I would really like to see him in is like a literary comedy. Like a like a comedy of errors, like another kind of period
Oh,
piece, but like importance
yeah.
of being earnest or like an Oscar
Sure.
Wilde movie or something. Like I think
Yeah,
that
yeah,
he would
yeah.
be good in something like that. He's notoriously always seen reading a book, I think he
Yeah.
would be very good in that kind of setting. I
Coen
kind
Brothers
of
reunite. They cast him.
yeah, like I kind of want to see him in like an offbeat comedy. because I
Mhm.
feel like he's been doing a lot of dramatic leading man stuff, which he's very good at. He's very good at smoldering
Is he
and
funny in
being
Succession or
handsome.
is he just mean?
He's not in Succession.
Sorry, not Succession. The other one,
Oh,
Euphoria.
he's just mean. Yeah,
Okay.
he's really good in Euphoria because like you hate him, you absolutely
Yeah.
hate him. Like he's great at making you hate him.
Oh, you know what I didn't see that I wanted to watch? On Swift Horses, which I heard was not very
Uh,
good.
I
But
did not watch it. But yeah, I heard like mixed things, but that he was good. Like he seems to kind of just get that
yeah,
reputation where like he's good in everything.
I guess I gotta watch The Kissing Booth.
Is that the
Then
close?
we'll
You
then
know
we'll really know.
that might be the closest thing he's done to a comedy is the Kissing Booth
Yeah,
movies.
I think so.
But yeah, I would like to see him do yeah like a comedy of errors. I think he'd
Yeah,
be good at.
that's a good call. All right. Well, let's wrap it up with some alternative pairings. You want to start us off here, Gabby?
Oh yes, I'm very passionate about my number one choice. I chose Persuasion, the Dakota Johnson Netflix one, which I deemed as too recent, but that came out just like a couple years ago on Netflix and is part of a new, along with Wuthering Heights, I would like to create a new genre called illiterate adaptation. Like these are for people who don't like reading and who have maybe never read a classic novel, like only Spark Notes. And these
Uh-huh.
movies are for you, you know?
Yeah.
And
Okay, okay.
honestly, this one came in just under the radar. I'm looking at it right now. It came out 4 years ago. So if it had hit 5 years ago, I might have been like, "Evan, we need to watch the bad Dakota Johnson uh Jane Austen because you know, we both notoriously cape for Dakota.
Yeah, that's
Both
true. I know.
like
We're the
we
number
are
one Dakota
her like
capers.
we're number one fans of Dakota, and I just think that this movie is so mind numbing that I'm like,
Yeah.
has any does anyone read anymore?
Oh
um
boy.
I had
Um,
some other Austins on the list too. I had Sense and Sensibility,
mhm.
and the Emma Thompson, Kate Winslet one, which is
Mm.
something that I treasure, and Pride and Prejudice, the Keira Knightley, Matthew McFadden one,
Yeah.
which I love that movie.
That's
I
a
just
real yearning movie.
that's the original like yeah yearning romance for Matthew
Yeah.
McFadden when he's like I love you most ardently. I was like teenage Gabby was like, "Oh, what does that mean? What does ardently mean? I have to look it up."
Yeah.
Um and you have added a couple as well.
Yeah, I feel like, especially because I did not read the book at all, I've never read it. I feel like maybe some of the other Wuthering Heights adaptations, there was one in 1939, one from 1970, one from 2011 with Kaya Scodelario. And I think that, there are fans of all three, and, I know there's been a lot of TV adaptations, so it would have been interesting to see, some of the film adaptations. I've also added one of my favorite movies, which is kind of a woof to say, but Joss Whedon's Much Ado About Nothing.
Ooh, yeah, that's
because
tough. That is tough,
because
man.
it's the production of the movie is one of my platonic ideals of a movie. We were talking about seeing a location and writing a movie around it. I think I've said it
Mm,
on this podcast before, but this was Joss Whedon's movie, like I think between Avengers movies or something. But he was like, you know what? I just want to film something with my friends. We're gonna film it at like my mansion in Pasadena, and we're just gonna do a
great.
week, and we're just gonna just like have fun. And so it's like a lot of the people from his previous TV shows, am not very familiar with those shows at all. But Amy Acker is Beatrice, incredible. And I just think the whole movie is so fun, and I think it's always fun to see when you pull the Shakespeare dialogue into a modern setting, how committed the actors are, and like can the movie and the actors bridge that gap and make it
Yeah.
very like
Can they
seamless.
pull it off?
And it's something that I think works like 85% of the time. Also, I have a soft spot for the movie because I saw it at a film festival in Boston.
Mm,
And so
I
I
don't
was
yeah,
like,
I
oh,
don't think
this
I've
is
seen
nice.
it.
Yeah, I think it's worth looking, especially if you're someone who's looking to make a low budget movie and you're just like, ah, man, like, I want to shoot something, but I just don't know where to start. It's like, what if you just did a Shakespeare adaptation with your friends?
In your
Maybe
house,
you could in your house,
in your
in your
apartment,
mansion.
in your 1-bedroom apartment in Silver Lake.
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
That's going to South by Southwest next year. You keep your eyes peeled, Evan.
Yeah, going to New Sundance.
Oh no, not New Sundance.
Oh man. All right, well, that's it for us today. If you're listening to us on audio, leave a review or comment, and make sure you check out the video versions of these on YouTube. You can see Jacob Elordi hanging out behind me for the entirety of this podcast.
He's really been smoldering, like, into my soul. Like,
I'm
how
hoping
dare
it boosts
you?
retention.
Yeah, how dare you criticize my film?
You can follow us, the podcast, on Letterboxd at Back to the Pod, and on Instagram at Back to the Feature Pod. Thank you so much for listening. We'll catch you next time. See ya.
Bye.